You know that feeling when you just want to read like a single simple news article
Oh,
today?
it is completely exhausting.
Right. I mean, the second you click the link, you are instantly navigating this massive digital obstacle course.
Yeah, totally.
Think about the last time you tried to just catch up on an industry trend. You're dodging these flashing pop-ups, you
Ah.
know?
And the auto-playing videos.
Yes. You're frantically trying to figure out how to close a video that is literally screaming at you from somewhere off screen.
It's the worst.
And all the while, you have that creepy, sinking feeling that a dozen invisible trackers are like recording your every single mouse movement. If you spend any time reading online, you know exactly what I am talking about.
You go in just wanting to learn something, and you come out feeling like you just ran a gauntlet.
Exactly.
It is a completely degraded experience for the reader, and honestly, it's arguably just as bad for the people actually writing the content. We've collectively accepted this as, the normal cost of being on the internet, that getting information requires an assault on your senses. But looking closely at the mechanics of digital media, it really shouldn't be this way.
It really shouldn't. And that frustration is the exact engine driving our mission today.
Mm-hmm.
We are taking a deep dive into a stack of documents detailing the AVLW Creator and Company program.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
Specifically, we've got the AVLW blueprint in front of us, along with like their official onboarding infographics.
Right?
We're looking at what appears to be a radical new model that aims to fundamentally rewire this completely broken publishing system.
Which is long overdue.
Oh, totally. And it's not just aiming to fix things for the readers who are tired of the obstacle course, but, for the creators and journalists who are actually making the content you want to consume.
What's fascinating here is how clearly these documents outline the current lose-lose reality of the media landscape. Because if you step back and look at the ecosystem right now, publishers and independent creators are essentially trapped between two terrible choices.
Right. It's like picking your poison.
Exactly. So option A, you build your own independent website. But doing that means you are taking on this massive technical debt.
Which nobody wants to do.
Right. You're paying for hosting, you're, configuring cloud servers, hiring developers.
Oh, and paying for massively expensive DDoS protection just to keep the site online if an article goes viral.
Precisely. If you've ever tried to run a high-traffic blog, you know the absolute panic of a server bill spiking.
Yeah, you essentially have to become a system administrator just to publish an editorial.
You really do.
Yeah.
And then there is option B, which is essentially to just surrender.
The easiest option, right?
Well, yeah. You take all your valuable, hard-won reporting or creative work and you just dump it for free onto the big social media platforms or, legacy ad tech networks.
Right.
You let them host it. But in doing so, you essentially become a digital serf.
Wow. A digital serf.
Yeah, you hand over your work to these rent-seeking algorithms where an arbitrary update made by some engineer in Silicon Valley on a Tuesday afternoon can instantly kill your traffic.
Just cut it off completely.
Exactly. It cuts off your revenue and essentially erases your entire business overnight.
Okay, let's unpack this because that dynamic right there is the core of the problem. Right now, being a creator feels like either building a massively expensive castle that you have to maintain and defend yourself.
Right.
Or you're building a really beautiful house on someone else's sand, where a social media giant can just wash it away with a tiny algorithm update whenever they feel like it.
That is the perfect way to look at it, actually. The castle is way too expensive to maintain, and the sand is too fundamentally unstable to build a business on.
So if AVLW is stepping into this mess, how exactly do they claim to fix the sand problem without charging you for the castle? Because this blueprint is making some massive promises about providing enterprise-level architecture for free. And the economics of that feel a little off to me right at the start. I mean, nothing is actually free.
Well, they're attempting to solve this by fundamentally shifting who absorbs the infrastructure overhead.
Okay.
The AVLW model offers entirely zero-cost infrastructure for approved publishers.
Wait, really? Entirely zero cost?
Entirely. They cover the ultra-fast hosting, the distributed cloud servers, the routine maintenance, the security protocols, and crucially, the dynamic scaling.
Ah, so the viral spikes.
Exactly. If your article gets picked up globally and gets 1 million hits in an hour, AVLW servers absorb that spike.
Oh, wow.
As a creator or a media brand, you do not pay a dime for that technical setup.
Zero technical costs.
Yeah.
But I assume it's not just some generic profile page on their main site, right? I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm a brand, I need my own space, not just a folder in someone else's filing cabinet.
No, exactly. You get a dedicated branded subdomain. So instead of being a tiny drop in a massive, chaotic social media feed, you operate out of something like, yourbrand.avalw.com.
That was way more professional.
It does. Or if you are a larger organization operating internationally, the documents show you can even structure it by region, like yourbrand-region.avalw.com.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, you maintain your distinct brand identity, but Avalw is the entity paying to keep the lights on and the servers from melting down.
Okay, but if you are handing out free, high-tier server architecture, my immediate thought is spam.
Yeah, truly.
Isn't every single bot farm and low-quality content mill just going to try to sign up and flood the servers just to get free hosting?
This raises an important question, and it's one Avalw clearly anticipated in their system design.
Okay.
This is not an open-door, free-for-all platform. They have really strict onboarding criteria to ensure the space remains professional and trusted.
So how do they filter them out?
Well, for companies, the mechanism is simple but highly effective. You cannot just sign up with a free consumer mailbox like a Gmail or Yahoo account.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to authenticate using a verified corporate email domain.
That makes total sense.
That single friction point immediately filters out a massive percentage of automated spam, and it ensures a business page actually represents a legitimate corporate entity.
Right, that handles the corporate side. But what about individual creators or like independent journalists who might not have a big corporate email infrastructure?
So for creators, the process is by application and invitation only.
Got it.
And they have established rigid baseline thresholds. As a general guideline, they require a genuine established audience before you even get in the door.
What kind of numbers are we talking about here?
The documents cite a minimum of 20,000 followers on platforms like YouTube or Facebook, or 50,000 followers on X, TikTok, or Instagram.
Wow. Okay, so you really have to bring an audience with you.
You do. Plus, they run verification protocols to ensure you actually own those channels. They're intentionally curating a high-barrier space for established voices to protect the trust that readers place in the platform's bylines.
Which makes sense mechanically. I mean, if you are building a premium neighborhood, you verify that the tenants actually have a track record of maintaining a nice yard, so to speak.
Right. Exactly.
But here's where it gets really interesting to me. Building a high-end server stack for free is great, but it doesn't solve the core issue of distribution.
No, it doesn't.
A beautiful website in the middle of a digital desert is still a desert. If nobody visits your page, it doesn't matter how fast your images load. So how does Avalw actually solve the audience problem without relying on the exact same algorithms we just criticized?
So this is where we look at the network effect detailed in the onboarding infographic. Avalw isn't just acting as a silent web host.
Okay.
They are plugging your subdomain directly into a massive pre-existing distribution layer. According to their audited live figures, the main Avalw network has an average of over 9 million daily visitors.
Wait, 9 million a day.
9 million a day.
That is the kind of traffic legacy newspapers dream of right now.
It is massive. They are aggregating news and editorial content from over 50 countries in more than 20 languages.
Wow.
So the mechanism works like this. When you hit publish on your dedicated subdomain, your article doesn't just sit there waiting for your personal Twitter followers to click a link.
Right.
It is simultaneously pushed to Avalw's global feed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you are instantly placed in front of an audience that is already on the platform specifically to consume news and editorial content.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because I saw in the documents, they're handling this dual publishing using canonical tags pointing back to the main domain.
Yes.
And if you understand how search engines work, you know that is a massive SEO play.
Yes.
Because normally, if you publish an article on your own subdomain and that exact same text appears on a giant aggregator site, Google hits you with a duplicate content penalty.
Exactly, and then it buries your personal link.
Right. That is the trap that destroys most syndication models. The aggregator essentially steals all your search traffic.
It's a huge problem for creators.
But by using a canonical link, they are actively managing that relationship. It's almost like hanging a print of your painting in your own house, but the canonical link tells the art world that the original masterwork is actually hanging in the Louvre.
Oh, I love that.
Right, you get the immense foot traffic of the Louvre, but you get to keep the painting on your wall too.
Yeah.
They're basically transferring their massive domain authority directly to the creator's subdomain.
That is a brilliant way to conceptualize it. The canonical version tells the search crawlers, hey, this piece of content belongs to the Avalw ecosystem.
Hmm.
So when Google's algorithm crawls it, it sees the article as part of this highly trusted 9 million visitor a day network.
Which is huge for SEO.
It really is.
Yeah.
Instead of your brand new subdomain struggling for years to rank in search results against like legacy media giants, your work borrows Avalw's sheer weight and domain authority to rank higher immediately. You are leveraging their massive institutional size to elevate your own content rather than fighting against it.
It's a massive structural advantage.
Yeah.
You are basically getting to draft behind an 18-wheeler on the SEO highway.
That's exactly it.
And looking at the blueprint for the actual writing experience, like the content editor itself, I am fully geeking out over how they designed this.
Oh yeah, the UI and UX choices in the editorial panel are incredibly streamlined.
They really are. I mean, if you've ever wrestled with a clunky legacy content management system where you need to constantly flip into HTML view just to fix a broken paragraph break,
Yes.
or you spend 20 minutes trying to make a simple block quote look decent.
It's a nightmare.
This is a breath of fresh air. They describe a totally distraction-free space. You start with this massive, elegant serif title. When you highlight text, this smooth, floating formatting bar just appears exactly where you need it.
Right, no hunting through side menus for bold or italics.
Exactly. And the image handling is what really caught my eye.
The visual integration is definitely positioned as a major selling point in these documents.
You just hit a plus button, you drop in a high-resolution photo, and on larger screens, the images gently extend past the text columns.
It looks so good.
It gives the whole piece this premium, glossy magazine feel. You don't have to write a single line of CSS. You just drag, drop, and suddenly you look like a top-tier editorial team.
It's very slick.
But we have to talk about the catch here. Relying on AVLW for distribution and hosting still means you are relying on a centralized platform.
True.
If AVLW goes offline tomorrow, or they change their terms of service, your 9 million visitor distribution pipeline vanishes instantly. So am I signing over the rights to my writing just to use their servers?
That is a critical risk assessment, and it's one the blueprint addresses very explicitly regarding intellectual property.
Okay.
You retain 100% ownership and all IP rights to your work. What you are granting AVLW is simply a non-exclusive license.
Which means they have the legal permission to host it and translate it, but they don't own the underlying copyright.
Precisely. They have permission to display it on their global feed and distribute it across their network while you are an active partner.
Right.
But if you want to take that exact same article and publish it in a physical book next year, you absolutely can.
That's huge.
And more importantly, if you decide the platform is no longer right for you, you can pack up your archives and leave. You never sign away the underlying rights to the words you created. They are functioning strictly as your distributor and host, not your owner.
Okay, so if AVLW doesn't own the IP and they are paying for millions of dollars in enterprise server space, cloud architecture, and DDoS protection, I mean, the math doesn't add up yet.
Right. Where's the money coming from?
Exactly. Where is the revenue engine that keeps this from going bankrupt in a week? We need to look at how anyone is actually paying the bills here.
Well, it all comes down to their advertising model and a highly transparent 50-50 revenue split.
Right.
The entire AVLW ecosystem is supported by ads. When your approved article generates advertising revenue, exactly half of that money goes directly to you, the creator.
50%. But how do you know you're actually getting 50%? I mean, ad tech is notoriously opaque.
And that opacity is exactly what they are designing against. There are no hidden deduction fees and no mystery algorithms deciding your CPM behind closed doors.
So how do you track it?
It is tracked in a transparent, real-time dashboard. You log in and see exactly how your articles are performing, what the ad bids are, and what you are earning at any given moment.
Oh, wow.
And crucially, they have strict algorithmic safeguards in place against bots, self-clicking, and inflated traffic fraud.
Oh. What keeps the advertisers happy.
Exactly. They actively monitor the quality of the traffic so the ecosystem remains financially sustainable for the advertisers, which ensures the payouts to the creators happen on a regular, highly visible schedule.
Okay, I have to push back here legitimately.
Sure.
50% sounds great on paper, but we started this deep dive talking about how awful the modern ad tech experience is.
We did.
If AVLW is funding this whole massive infrastructure with advertising, aren't we just slapping the exact same annoying privacy-invading trackers onto a nicer-looking web page?
It's a fair question.
And furthermore, if they aren't tracking users, how are the ads actually making any money? Because behavioral targeted ad bids are where the real money is. How does this volume make up for the loss of targeted ad premiums?
I am so glad you brought that up because this is the exact mechanical difference that separates AVLW from the legacy ad tech model.
Okay, load on me.
It all comes down to privacy-first advertising, specifically contextual advertising versus behavioral tracking.
Right. Okay.
You are right that the current internet is fueled by behavioral tracking. That's why you look at a pair of shoes once, and a tracking cookie stalks you across every single website you visit for the next month.
Building a psychological profile of my habits to serve a high-bid ad. Yeah.
Exactly. It's an entire industry based on surveillance.
It is.
Well, AVLW entirely rejects that mechanism.
Yeah.
The documents state explicitly, AVLW does not track readers as they browse.
Really? None?
None. There are 0 advertising cookies. There is no cross-site tracking. There's no user profiling whatsoever.
So if there are no cookies, my first thought is that the ads must be entirely blind. And advertisers hate blind inventory because the conversion rates are terrible.
Right.
But they must be using contextual scraping, right? Like reading the text of the article itself to trigger the ad bid.
That is exactly the mechanism. They use advanced natural language processing to analyze the article itself in milliseconds.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah. The system looks at the text, recognizes the context, the keywords, and the sentiment, and then displays an ad relevant to that specific content, not to the secret data profile of the reader.
Give me an example of how that works.
So if you write an incredibly detailed 2,000-word deep dive into quantum computing, the NLP system recognizes the context and triggers a bid for a tech company or a cloud computing service.
Wow. So it triggers the bid based on the environment, not the individual. It doesn't need to know where the reader lives, what their search history is, or what they bought yesterday on Amazon. It just mathematically deduces that anyone currently reading 2,000 words about quantum mechanics is probably a good target for an enterprise software ad.
You got it. It completely severs the link between advertising and surveillance. It respects the reader's privacy entirely while still delivering highly targeted, relevant inventory for the advertiser.
That is fascinating.
And that keeps the bid prices competitive enough to fund the ecosystem, allowing the creator to get paid their 50% without selling out the reader's data.
That is a massive paradigm shift. It proves you don't actually need spyware to run a profitable media business.
It really does. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this fundamental respect for the user experience is what allows creators to build genuine, long-term trust with their audience.
Because the reader isn't being attacked, they're being respected.
Exactly. And AVLW leverages that reader trust to solve the final and perhaps most critical piece of the puzzle, audience ownership.
Audience ownership. Meaning you don't just get a transient page view from the AVLW feed. You actually get a relationship you can take with you.
Precisely. Think about a standard social media platform. The platform owns the audience.
Always.
You are just a guest worker allowed to perform for them as long as the algorithm likes your content that day.
Yep.
On AVLW, every branded subdomain includes a native, frictionless email subscription feature built right into the interface. A reader enjoying your work can subscribe to your specific brand with a single tap.
So when I publish a new piece on the AVLW editor, my subscribers aren't just hoping it pops up in a feed somewhere. They are notified directly via email.
Yes, you completely bypass the intermediary algorithms. You are building a first-party audience that you own entirely.
That's incredible.
If a reader subscribes to you, you have a direct line to their inbox. No algorithm can throttle your reach to your own subscribers because you aren't relying on a centralized newsfeed to serve it to them.
So what does this all mean when we put the pieces together? Because adopting a new platform is usually a logistical nightmare for a business.
Oh, usually it takes months.
Right. But according to the blueprint, the onboarding process is designed to take minutes, not weeks. Let's walk through the actual mechanics of how a creator or a company initiates this, because they break it down into 4 highly optimized steps.
Yeah, so the first step is verify. We touched on this earlier. You don't just create a username and password.
Right, the gatekeeping phase.
Exactly. You register with your corporate email, which pings their verification servers to ensure you are a legitimate entity, or you submit your creator application where their team audits your existing audience size. This is the quality control gateway.
Right. And once you clear the gate, step 2 is structure. This is where you are basically acting as your own IT department, but without writing any code. You define your subdomains, you choose your brand titles, you set up regional pages if you are an international company, and you select your operating languages.
It's all just drop-downs and toggles.
Exactly. You are basically building the architecture of your portfolio in a few clicks.
Then comes step 3, publish. This is where your editorial team takes over. They get immediate access to that gorgeous, distraction-free CMS we talked about.
I love that CMS.
Because the infrastructure is already handled, a media team can start dropping in content, formatting images, and publishing articles on day one. There is no beta testing phase or server configuration required.
And finally, step 4 is monetize. The moment the content is live, the NLP contextual ads are matching with the text, the 9 million visitor network is driving traffic, and the creator can watch their audience grow while tracking that 50-50 revenue split in real time on the financial dashboard.
Right there on the screen.
You see the traffic, you see the ad bids, you see your cut.
It is a remarkably elegant technical solution to a deeply entrenched industry problem. When you look at the entirety of this program, from the zero-cost servers to the canonical SEO mapping to the contextual ad engine, it paints a very inspiring conclusion for the future of independent publishing.
It really does.
For the last decade, we've been conditioned to believe that media must belong to giant platforms that exploit user data and strip mine writers' hard work just to generate profit.
Right, the digital serfdom.
Exactly. But this blueprint proves that the architecture for a better system actually already exists. The future of media can belong to transparency. It can belong to direct ownership of your IP and your audience, and it can be built on mutual respect between the platform, the creator, and the reader.
It is a total rethinking of the mechanics of publishing. It takes the power away from the ad tech rent seekers and the algorithmic black boxes, and it gives the leverage back to the people actually doing the work.
Absolutely.
Which leaves me with a final, slightly provocative thought for you to mull over as you go about your day.
Okay, let's hear it.
If this zero-cost, full control model becomes the new standard, if a brand or an independent journalist can get enterprise servers, instant global distribution, a direct email list, and half the ad revenue without ever sacrificing their readers' privacy, what happens to the giant social media algorithms when millions of top-tier creators realize they simply no longer need them to survive?
That is the multi-billion-dollar question hovering over the entire industry right now. If the high-quality creators migrate to a model that actually respects them, the legacy platforms have nothing left of value to monetize.
Exactly. Suddenly, that digital obstacle course we talked about at the beginning, it doesn't look like an inevitability anymore. It just looks completely obsolete. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking this deep dive with us today. We love tearing into these blueprints with you, exploring how the gears actually turn, and we will catch you on the next one.